Have you ever looked at a messy kitchen or a pile of laundry and thought, I just don't have the strength for this today? You're not alone. And more importantly, it's not your fault. In this video, we're not going to push you to do more. We're going to show you how to do it smarter. 10 gentle, practical cleaning tips that truly work, especially when your energy is low or your body just doesn't move like it used to. Whether you're living with chronic pain, limited mobility, or simply want to protect your energy, these senior tips are made for you. A few months ago, I visited my Aunt Rose. She's 82, lives alone, and has the warmest smile you've ever seen. That day, I walked in to see her sitting at the kitchen table just staring at the dishes in the sink. I asked if everything was all right, and she let out a soft laugh. "Oh, honey, it's not that I don't want to clean. It's that my knees and hands already did too much this morning." Her words stuck with me because the truth is, many seniors aren't struggling because they're lazy or messy. They're tired, in pain, or simply overwhelmed by where to even start. That's why today's video exists. Let's walk through each tip together, not as chores, but as gifts of ease, made for the season of life you're in now. We'll start with something as simple as a sink full of dishes, and how one tiny change can make it all feel lighter. You know, it's funny how just a few seconds can change the course of an entire day. Margaret, a lovely woman in her 80s, once told me this little moment from her mornings. She'd wake up, walk into the kitchen, and the first thing she'd see was a plate in the sink. Just one plate from last night's dinner. But that single plate had a strange power. It made everything else feel heavier. The coffee didn't taste quite right. The morning light didn't feel as warm. All because of that one small reminder that she hadn't finished something. So she made a change. Now, right after she eats, she takes just a minute to rinse the dish, give it a gentle swipe under warm water, and set it aside. That's it. 1 minute. And the difference? Enormous. She told me, it's not about the plate. It's about starting my day without feeling like I'm already behind. That's what I call a 1-minute win. A small habit that clears not just your space, but your mind. And you'd be amazed how many of these exist, quietly waiting for us to notice them. It could be wiping the bathroom sink after brushing your teeth. Just a quick swoosh with a soft cloth. It could be fluffing the pillows before you sit down with your book. It might be opening the curtains to let in morning light, even on a cloudy day. Each of these takes less than 60 seconds. But the impact? Deep. These tiny moments tell your mind, you've got this. You're taking care of yourself. You're not rushing or forcing, just tending, gently. I think for many of us, especially as we age, the big chores feel more and more intimidating. Scrubbing floors, lifting laundry baskets, cleaning out whole cabinets. And that's okay. Your body is asking for grace, not guilt. But that doesn't mean you're powerless. In fact, these small daily wins are how we stay in tune with our space, and more importantly, with ourselves. Here's a simple practice. Right now, think of one small task in your daily routine that always makes you feel better after it's done, but that you sometimes skip because it feels too small to matter. That's the one to reclaim today, not because you have to, but because you deserve a space that gently supports you. And these tiny habits, these 1-minute wins, are the stepping stones. And as we build those little wins, you'll find something else begins to shift. You'll notice that cleaning doesn't feel like a battle anymore. It feels more like tending to a garden, slowly, with care in moments, not marathons. Now, speaking of little things making a big difference, let's talk about tools. Because sometimes, the problem isn't what you're doing, it's what you're holding. And the weight in your hand might be heavier than you think. I once asked my Uncle Harold, who's 84 and still keeps his shoes polished like a Marine. How he manages to keep his little cottage so tidy without tiring himself out. He looked at me, smiled, and said, "Oh, I sit for most of it." That made me pause, because we've grown up thinking cleaning means moving, bending, standing, pushing, that you have to work up a sweat for it to count. But Harold had quietly figured out something far wiser. Comfort isn't laziness. It's strategy. Let me explain. When you sit to clean, whether it's folding laundry, wiping a table, sorting papers, or organizing a drawer, you're reducing the strain on your knees, back, feet, and even your heart. That's not just good practice. It's protective care for your body. And it's not just Uncle Harold. There's Martha, who places a sturdy bar stool by her kitchen counter. Every evening, she sits and wipes down the surfaces while listening to her favorite 1940s radio show. Or Joseph, who now folds his laundry while seated at the dining table, using a soft cushion behind his back. No more bending, no more rushing. And they're not doing less. They're just doing it differently, thoughtfully, sustainably. Here's how you can bring this into your own space. Place a reliable seat in areas where you often do chores, a bar-height stool in the kitchen, a low chair in the laundry area, or even a rolling chair in the hallway if you're tidying shelves. Choose the right height, so you're not overreaching or hunching. A surface that aligns with your elbow when sitting is ideal. Have a clean and sit corner, maybe by the window, with a cloth and a spray bottle, where you can rest and still feel productive. This shift does something magical. When you sit while cleaning, you slow down. And when you slow down, you notice things. You see the corner where dust gathers. You realize a picture frame is slightly crooked. You find a quiet moment to be with your space. Not just clean it, but tend to it, like it tends to you. You also build rhythm, because when your body isn't punished by each chore, you're more likely to return to them. They become moments of care, not battles of will. And perhaps the most important thing, you remind yourself that comfort is not a reward you earn after hard work. It's a way of working that honors where you are right now. In this season of life, now that we've lightened the way we move while cleaning, let's look at something just as gentle. Tools that feel kind in your hands, yet do a beautiful job. It's time for a little tour through the world of simple, lightweight helpers. Let me ask you something gently. When was the last time you picked up a cleaning bottle and winced a little from the pressure it took to squeeze it? For many seniors, that small moment of discomfort happens every day, but we tend to brush it off. We think it's just a spray bottle. But your hands know better. I remember visiting Eleanor, a sweet neighbor in her late 70s. We were wiping down her kitchen counter when I noticed she kept shifting the bottle from hand to hand. Finally, she chuckled and said, "My fingers feel like they're wrestling the bottle, not the dirt." That stayed with me, because cleaning tools should help us, not fight us. And the good news is, there's a better way. Let's talk gentle tools. These are small adjustments with big rewards, especially for those with arthritis, joint pain, or simply a need for ease. Here's what I recommend. Mini spray bottles. Refill large cleaning solutions into 8 OZ or 12 AUZ bottles with soft triggers. Easier to grip, no hand cramps. Pre-moistened wipes. For quick cleanups without having to spray, soak, or scrub. Especially handy near the bathroom or kitchen sink. Soft-handled brushes or sponges. Choose those with thick, cushioned grips. They reduce pressure on your knuckles and palms. Long-handled dusters or grabbers. No need to stretch or bend. Your tool meets you where you are. Let me tell you about John. He's 76, and after switching to smaller bottles and a padded scrubber, he said something beautiful. "I didn't realize how much I was bracing myself before. Now I just clean. No effort, no dread." And that's the real lesson here. When your tools feel friendly, cleaning stops being a task you avoid and becomes something simple. It's no longer about toughness. It's about tenderness. For your home, yes, but more importantly, for your own body. And now that your hands feel supported, let's look at another part of cleaning that can wear us down without us even realizing it: dusting. You'll be amazed how one cloth, just one, can change everything. I once sat with my friend Carol, 81, graceful in every way, as she folded laundry in the soft afternoon light. She wasn't rushing. She wasn't trying to finish quickly. She was humming to herself, carefully smoothing out each towel before placing it in the basket, like it was a small act of care. And she said to me, without even looking up, "Years ago, I cleaned with force. Now I clean with love." That line has never left me, because so many of us were raised to believe that more effort means more value, that scrubbing hard, moving fast, and getting sweaty somehow equals a job well done. But here's the truth we rarely hear. Effort doesn't have to mean pain. Cleaning doesn't need to be intense. It needs to be intentional. It's not about how hard you scrub. It's about why you're doing it. Maybe you're wiping the table not to impress anyone, but because you want your tea to rest on a calm surface. Maybe you dust the bookshelf not because it has to be done, but because that photo of your grandkids deserves to shine. When you shift from intensity to intention, the whole energy changes. Suddenly, cleaning becomes a form of presence, not punishment. A way to reconnect with your space, not conquer it. Let me tell you about James. He's 79, used to be a contractor, always prided himself on a spotless home. But in recent years, pain in his hips made deep cleaning almost impossible. At first, he felt frustrated, like he was losing control. But then he changed his mindset. Now, he sets a soft playlist, lights a gentle scented candle, and picks just one task each morning. Some days, it's the bathroom sink, he told me. Some days, it's just sweeping one hallway. But I do it slowly, mindfully, and I feel good after. And that's what it's about. Cleaning as a way to honor the day, not push through it. To bring a bit of order, and maybe even joy, to the spaces that hold our lives. So how do you begin? Choose one area, not 10. Set a timer for 10 minutes, then stop. No guilt. Pair it with something calming, music, a window open to the breeze, a favorite scent. Because when you clean with intention, you protect the most important resource you have now, your energy. Now that we've shifted the how, let's look at the where. Because there are a few areas in the home that deserve just a little extra care. Not because they're messy, but because they carry so much of our daily emotion. Let's begin with one of them, the kitchen table. The kitchen is more than a place to cook. It's where morning light touches your coffee cup, where old recipes carry memories, and where the smell of cinnamon or garlic can take you back decades in an instant. And yet, it's also the first place that can feel overwhelming. Dishes pile up, counters collect clutter, the fridge door sticks. For many seniors, walking into the kitchen can feel less like coming home and more like entering a battlefield. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can reclaim this space, not all at once, but gently in pieces. And as you do, you'll find you're reclaiming something deeper: peace. Let me tell you about Grace. She's 76, a retired school librarian who used to love baking. But after her arthritis worsened, she started avoiding the kitchen altogether. "I didn't stop cooking because I didn't care," she told me. "I stopped because I didn't feel welcome in my own space anymore." That broke my heart. So we worked together to make the kitchen kinder. First, we cleared the table. Just that. One afternoon, one table. Then, we moved her mixing bowls to a lower shelf, so no more reaching overhead. We added a padded stool near the counter, so she could sit while stirring or chopping. And we placed a basket beside the sink, a soft reminder that dishes, Once rinsed, go right in. Within a week, something shifted. She began making oatmeal cookies again. Her kitchen didn't just look different, it felt different. And more than anything, she looked lighter. Because she had found her way back to a room that held her memories, and now made space for her present. You see, reclaiming the kitchen isn't about deep cleaning every cabinet. It's about restoring flow, safety, and warmth. A cluttered counter makes the mind race. A clear table invites you to sit, breathe, and eat slowly. A stool by the stove says, you don't have to stand to be strong. You don't need to do everything. You just need to do the things that invite peace back into your day. So here's something you can try today. Clear one surface, just one. A corner of the table, a patch of countertop. Wipe it gently, maybe add a small flower or a candle. Then sit with a warm drink and let your breath catch up with you. That's not cleaning, that's reclaiming. And now that we've softened the heart of the home, let's look at another space that often gets overlooked. Not because it's not important, but because we think it has to be hard. But what if laundry day didn't have to feel like a battle? What? There's a quiet wisdom in your body that grows louder as you age. It doesn't shout, it whispers. In the stiffness of your knees when you've stood too long. In the ache in your back after bending one too many times. In the heaviness of your arms after lifting that laundry basket. For so many years, we were taught to push through, to keep going, to ignore the discomfort. But now is the time to listen. Your body is not betraying you. It's guiding you. It's asking for a softer way. I remember visiting Mr. Thomas, a retired gardener with the warmest smile. He used to mow 3 lawns a day, but at 82, even sweeping his porch left him breathless. Still, he tried to do it all, until one day, he slipped while bending to pick up a potted plant. Nothing broke, but his confidence did. That fall was a wake-up call. He started doing something small but life-changing. He listened. He added grabber tools for reaching, switched to lightweight tools, sat while doing dishes. And most of all, he gave himself permission to rest without guilt. That shift, from pushing to listening, is powerful. Because when you listen, you begin to pace yourself. You no longer feel behind. You feel aligned. You start noticing that folding clothes while seated isn't a sign of weakness. It's wisdom. That cleaning one shelf today and the next tomorrow doesn't mean you're slower. It means you're sustainable. That choosing not to lift, but to slide or roll, that's not giving up. That's protecting what matters most, your ability to keep going. Listening isn't just about slowing down. It's about honoring the life you've lived and protecting the life ahead. So here's a gentle nudge. Today, choose one thing that your body has been asking for. A lighter tool, a longer pause, a softer approach. Give it that and see how it thanks you. Because your body is still your partner. It's walked with you through decades, and now it's asking for care, not commands. And speaking of care, let's talk about the one thing we often forget when trying to keep our homes in order. How to make peace with a little mess and find clarity in what truly matters. There's a certain kind of heaviness we don't always see. It's tucked into crowded shelves, drawers we haven't opened in years, corners filled with things we might use someday. But deep down, we know it's not just stuff, it's stories. It's moments we haven't let go of. And sometimes, it's what keeps the light from coming in. I once helped Mary, a 79-year-old widow, sort through her hall closet. It was packed with old baking pans, unopened gifts, and shoes she hadn't worn since her husband passed. She stood quietly for a moment, then said, "I thought if I kept them, I was keeping him." I took her hand and whispered, "You've already kept what matters. It's in you." That day, We let go of one pair of shoes, then a pan, then a coat, and each time her voice grew lighter. By the end, she stood by the open closet, smiled, and said, "I didn't know my house could breathe." Letting go is not about throwing things away. It's about creating space for what lifts you now. When the room clears, your mind clears. When the counter is open, you exhale. And when you donate, you bless someone else's life with what once served you. Here's something gentle you can try. Pick one drawer, one corner. Ask yourself, does this bring me peace now? Not guilt, not history, just peace, and if it doesn't, thank it and release it. Because you deserve a home that feels like light, not weight. And as we open up space in our homes, something else happens too. We begin to make space in our days. Which brings us to one of the most loving habits of all, not waiting for the weekend, but making every day just a little bit lighter, one gentle task at a time. At the end of each day, when the light turns golden and the house begins to quiet, there's a small window, a pause, where peace can settle in if we let it. It's not about perfection. It's about permission. Permission to breathe, to rest, and to end the day not with a list of what's left undone, but with a ritual that tells your body and your mind, you've done enough. You are enough. I remember Mrs. Lillian, 85, who shared with me her evening ritual. Just before sunset, she wipes down the kitchen table with a soft cloth, lights a single lavender candle, and sets out her favorite mug, even if she's not making tea. "It's my way of telling myself the work is done," she said, "that I'm allowed to stop now." And that's what a ritual of calm does. It signals the nervous system to shift from doing to being. It creates a closing chapter, even if just for that day. You can make it yours in any way that soothes you. Maybe it's putting on a soft pair of socks, turning on a gentle light, or playing a favorite song from your younger days. Maybe it's spritzing your pillow with rose water. Or maybe it's simply sitting quietly with your hands in your lap and saying, "This home, this heart, we're good for today." You don't need to earn rest. You need to honor it. And the more consistently you end with calm, the more your home becomes a sanctuary, not a to-do list. And what better way to close a day than to tell yourself, softly, "I have cared for my space, and now I will care for me." And in this gentle spirit of care, we come to the final thought, the reminder that all of this is not about doing more, or even better. It's about doing less, with more love. Because you, dear heart, deserve nothing less than that. If you've ever caught yourself whispering, "I'm just lazy," when you chose to sit instead of stand or left a chore for tomorrow, I want you to pause right here and take a deep breath. You're not lazy. You're wise. You've lived enough days to know that your energy is precious. You've carried enough weight in your hands, in your heart, to understand that not every battle needs fighting. You've earned the right to move slower, choose gentler tools, and listen when your body says, "That's enough for now." There's a quiet strength in doing less with more care. In rinsing a dish right away, not because someone told you to, but because you know it saves your back later. In wiping a counter gently, sitting while folding clothes or lighting a candle at sunset, not as chores, but as acts of love. These are not signs of laziness. They're signs of living with intention, of choosing peace over pressure, of understanding that life isn't measured by how much we get done, but by how we feel while doing it. I think of all the seniors I've met. Helen, who dusts with one cloth and a hum. James, who cleans slowly, with music. Grace, who now smiles at her own kitchen. None of them are lazy. They're just finally letting themselves be soft after a lifetime of being strong. And you, dear one, are allowed to do the same. So as we close this journey, I invite you to choose one small thing from today's video. Not all 10, just one. Try it. Feel how your body responds. Watch how your mood shifts. Then tell someone you love about it. Because maybe, just maybe, they're tired too. And maybe, like you, they need someone to remind them. You don't have to push. You just have to care. And if no one's told you this today, you're doing beautifully. Keep choosing ease. Keep choosing light. You deserve every bit of it.